Hello, everyone. I'm psychic astrologer, spiritualist, and medium Ray Sette. Thank you for joining me today. This month, I'm broadcasting from the mystical moon. Today, I'm in the Bonita Springs office. I've been here since the end of April and into the early part of May. Meeting with clients, conducting schedules. I've had a very busy and full schedule. I'm very grateful for all those who met with me, sat with me privately, and talked about some pretty amazing things. And I'm always very honored to be able to share with you my insights as to what we can potentially experience over the course of any given time, whether it's just a monthly forecast or even a longer forecast, as I share with you on my website. First, let me begin by saying that we begin May. We still have Mercury retrograde. Mercury will remain retrograde until May 3rd. And just keep in the back of your mind that not until Mercury moves past the point at which it went retrograde, which is on May 20th, are we completely out of the influences and the effects of the Mercury retrograde. And as I've said many times before, these energies, these cycles, planetary cycles, really are for our benefit. And when we can understand how to make the most of the influences, certainly we work with the energy and we benefit very much from all of these possibilities. And you know, if when you look at where the Mercury retrograde is specific to your chart, you'll know exactly what area in your life you need to just reflect and review on. For example, if Mercury is retrograde in your 10th house, that's the house that connects with our career, our goals, long-term goals and achievements. That Mercury retrograde period would suggest that you reflect and review all of that wonderful energy. As I said, Mercury will go direct on May 3rd, and the influences are still in play till May 20th. So once everything moves direct, proceed with caution, do what you need to do, and just kind of keep all of that in the back of your mind. Our next full moon is on May 10th, and that will be in the sign of Scorpio. I want to just also highlight by saying that the lunations that we have in May, the full moon and the new moon, are trigger points of our eclipse seasons. Our first eclipse season of 2017 was in February, and our next eclipse season will be in August. The May time period is the midpoint between the two eclipses. Midpoints are actually very significant factors when we're looking at the information at an astrological, from an astrological perspective. The May influences will reactivate and re-energize all that took place in February for us. And these energies, they begin to highlight what's coming with the eclipse season in August. So just allow yourself to be very aware of what you're seeing, sensing, feeling. If you're aware of what began to significantly shift in the early part of this year, recognize that this is another time of activation as well as moving forward. It's also a time for us to reflect on what's coming, the changes that will be coming as we go through the August time period. The August eclipse are actually a little bit more significant, especially the August 21st solar eclipse. It's a total solar eclipse, and the line of the eclipses actually will be moving throughout the United States. So certainly our country will be feeling the influences and the shifts and the changes that will be taking place as we move into the next eclipse season in August. As I said, our full moon is in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio, it's a water sign. The water signs connect very much so with the spirit realm, and certainly Scorpio has its own profound connection with spirit. The sign Scorpio is ruled by the planet Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's also the planet that connects with the physical transition from physical form into the spirit realm as well. You know, the energy of Scorpio has a very, very strong connection with the spirit realm. It also connects very much so with the element of fear. Fear because it connects with darkness and the unknown. However, many times when fears are becoming triggered and becoming activated in our lives, we are given an opportunity to release the fear and not necessarily focus or energize and emphasize and rather reinforce the fear. Inasmuch we're given an opportunity to release the fear. If you're aware of wherever Scorpio is in your chart and where this full moon connects to your chart as personally, it could indicate the sector of your life where you need to release the most fear. And remember, whenever we allow ourselves to just release fear, we open up a whole new realm of possibilities for us to embrace and receive greater knowings about ourselves. I mentioned that Pluto is the planetary ruler of the sign of Scorpio, and Pluto actually is forming a very nice alignment with the full moon as well as the sun, which is still in the sign of Taurus at the time of the full moon. What I would suggest to recognize with this coming full moon on May 10th is our ability to manifest all that we desire. The element of manifestation is very strong with this coming full moon. Our ability to manifest our heightened sense of awareness, how we are very much creative beings, but also too how we can quickly manifest our desires. I suggest to recognize that. I also suggest to be very clear with all the intentions that we set in motion. I mean, it's generally a rule of thumb to be always aware of every intention that we set in motion, because whatever we set in motion through our intention certainly will come back to us in one form or another. And I want to emphasize that at this time, with this full moon specifically, the element of manifestation can manifest itself, if you will, very, very quickly. So allow yourself to be very clear, be very precise with all the intentions that you set in motion at the time of the full moon. A full moon is an optimum time for manifestation. Doing candle work, anything that you connect with ritualistically to bring to form all that is your desires. You know, certainly allow yourself to use the full moon as a PowerPoint during the course of this month to bring to form some of your greatest desires. As I said, be very, very clear with all the intention you set in motion, especially at the time of this coming full moon on May 10th. We also have a somewhat challenging alignment, and when I look at the alignments, I'm only referring to some of the more specific alignments that are taking place at a given time. You know, throughout a given month, as I've said, and even during the course of the day, we can have hundreds and hundreds of alignments coming together. I'm highlighting only the most exacting and more specific ones, just to give you a point of reference as to what we can experience, but also too that you can certainly use for your own personal understandings and spiritual evolution. There's an alignment between Jupiter and Neptune at the time of the full moon, which could suggest in the outer world we can see many spiritual conflicts coming to form. You know, especially conflicts between governments and the religious sect, which, you know, when we have these experiences, they're really giving us an opportunity to transcend what we've been conventionally taught to be truths and understandings where religion is concerned. Overall, we're giving greater opportunities to embrace higher knowings of spirituality, which do not connect with conventional religion. And I do not say this to discredit any religion whatsoever, because I've always emphasized that I believe that all religions have merit. However, we've been very much misguided with the true understandings of spirituality and spiritual information, and we're at a time right now where we're transitioning from conventional religion to higher spiritual knowings, and that shift is very much pronounced as we go through the May time period, specifically with the full moon on May 10th. I suggest to just allow yourself to recognize whatever you may connect with on a spiritual level. Allow yourself to transform. Allow yourself to transform and to really progress to that next level of your of your higher knowing and your own personal higher understandings, and really apply it to certainly your spiritual journey and whatever it is that you may need at this time during your life. On May 20th, we have the sun moving into the sign of Gemini. Actually, on May 20th at 4:32 p.m., and that's Eastern time, the sun moves into the sign of Gemini. Gemini connects with the thought process, communication. Gemini is an air sign, so most of the air signs can be very, very creative, especially Gemini and Libra. And especially where thoughts and writing is concerned. Our new moon, which is on May 25th, incidentally, is in the sign of Gemini. So that is the perfect time to begin new writing projects. Also allow yourself to recognize how on a creative level the energy of the thoughts has become very much activated at this time. With the new moon, we actually have the sign Libra rising in the new moon chart that is cast for the United States. As I said, those two air signs are very creative. Gemini can demonstrate its creativity through writing, poetry, and Libra also demonstrates its creativity in the sign of music. You know, certainly with writing and music, they sometimes very much go hand in hand. So if you would like to begin any endeavor for your own self personally, which connects with writing, music, creativity overall, certainly allow yourself to really begin the process and connect it with the new moon, which is on May 25th, as I said, which actually, no, I didn't say the new moon is exacting on May 25th at 3:44 p.m., and that's Eastern Daylight Time. The new moon, as the full moon, is a time of manifestation, of coming to form. The full moon completes a lunar cycle, and it culminates all that we have begun at the time of the new moon. The new moon, it's a new beginning. So use that time and recognize that that is a power point to set in motion some very positive energy. And as I said, with all things, just allow yourself to be very, very clear with all the intentions that you set in motion. Remember, the greater the clarity with our intentions and our thoughts, the easier it is actually for the universe to return to you whatever it is that you have set in motion. So certainly keep that as a point of reference. We still have a few planets retrograde. Saturn is still retrograde. Pluto is still retrograde. And we also have Jupiter is also still retrograde at this time. And as I said in prior forecasts, whenever a planet is retrograde, the influences of those specific energies just go within. And many times it's a time to recharge, especially with Pluto. Pluto connects with our willpower, determination. Whenever Pluto's retrograde, it's a perfect optimum time to recharge the battery, restoke the fire that's inside you. Pluto will move direct in September, but it also whenever a planet is retrograde, it certainly does not suggest that we need to necessarily take a back seat and become passive. All of these energies, when we understand the opportunities that are presented with each of the influences, we can be very dynamic in all that we are setting in motion. So once again, I'm spiritualist, psychic, and astrologer Ray Sette. I thank you for sharing this time and receiving some of these insights that I have for you. If anyone who might need me, even though I will be finishing up my time at the mystical moon on May 2nd, I certainly am still available for either phone or Skype consultations. You just have to call the center if you need me outside of the 2 times that I'm here. I will be back again in November, and if you need me before then, certainly call up the centers and we'll set something up for you and we'll take care of that for you. So until I see you again, stay in the light, stay in the place of love, and namaste, be well.